Dr. Laura Murillo, Presidency of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. We're so very excited to have one of our corporate partners joining us today with the Houston Texans, and it is Mike Tillman. He's the new president. I was with him and the team over the weekend at the Texans camp, which, by the way, if you missed it, it was a lot of fun, full of energy, and I think it's just setting the stage for a great, great season. Mike, great to see you.
Thank you so much for having me on. So great to see you.
Absolutely. And first of all, welcome to Houston. I hope that though so far you've had a fabulous experience.
Well, one, you were one of the first people I really had a chance to get a feel for the warmth of Houston. So thank you for that warm reception. And yes, this is such an easy city to get acclimated to. My family and I have just enjoyed it immensely.
Wonderful. So look, 6 months. What have you seen from your Texans family? What are you looking forward to now that you're at the helm?
I think one of the best things I can say is it's been as advertised. I've heard a lot of great things about Houston. The metrics are off the charts as it relates to growth and diversity and the health of the city. And so that has been something great to experience. The McNairs have their reputation preceded them. And the best thing I can say, and I was talking with our overall team this morning, they're just so authentic and genuine about their passion for the team and the role it can play in the city. And so that has been really, really reassuring to know that you're coming to a place that what you thought it was is actually what it is. And now you can get excited about what you can do for the future, certainly for our fan base and making sure the Texans are as accessible and proud to be representing everybody in the community.
So we have to ask, what's new for this season?
We got a lot new this season. We actually just released our new expression of our brand in the T. And so it's there to complement the H. The H is not going anywhere, but it's there. It's a new expression for our fans to embrace and engage in. We also have, which will be my first, we have Cal's Cookout. And so, Laura, I don't know if you've done this
What?
before.
How's what?
Cal's Cookout. And so Cal McNair's safe space, his favorite place, his happy place, which by the way is also mine, is behind the grill. And so on our last day of open practice, Cal will be serving all of our fans from the grill. So I haven't done that yet. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know the role I'll play. I don't know if it'll be condiments or buns or wherever
Yeah,
it'll be,
yeah.
but we have that to look forward to. And then I would just say, for the fans coming into NRG, I think it'll be a great sensory experience for them. It'll be an amplified experience, updated video boards, and an
Yeah.
updated sound system. So it will be loud and proud here when we get to NRG and in a place I think that the fans will really right out of the gate say, wow, this is a little different.
Louder because it was certainly loud, but I had heard about these upgrades to Energy Park, and I know you guys have to be excited. And if you can imagine that screen being even bigger and up to date than it was, I cannot wait. And we're going to see you there with some of our board members and sponsors for the opening game, which I can't believe it's already fall and it's time for football.
It is. Summer is over and it is football season.
So let's talk about a little bit about the big input that the family and the team have had in the city, in the community, and even from a multicultural perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. That is part of the McNair's DNA, is really the community involvement. Really since 2002, through the Texans Foundation, we have donated over $50 million to the community. And, really when we think about that, one of the greatest examples is Hannah McNair as vice president of our Texans Foundation. And so that is really the vehicle on how we make the outreach to the community. One of our major initiatives is girls flag football and flag football in general. How do we make football accessible to the community? We really just believe it can be so impactful for our youth. The different things you can learn from team sports in the game of flag football. And so it's an important initiative for us. We really hope that through our efforts and all those who are supporting the initiative, that we can have Texas be the next state that sanctions it as an actual high school sport. That's a huge focus for us. I'd also say from a multicultural standpoint, we really think about it in two ways. First, the game. How can we make, when you come to NRG, make it as welcoming as possible? Make sure that the entertainment is diverse and represents our community out there at large. And so that's everything from the game entertainment to the moment you arrive, the whole way through, making sure it's as inclusive as possible and people feel at home when they come to NRG.
Yeah.
The only people we don't want to make feel at home are the opponents. Everybody
There
else,
you
we want to make sure this is their place.
Yeah.
And Laura, I'd say that the other part is through the NFL, our global markets program. Mexico is the biggest next population when it comes to our global fan base. And so through that program, that is our designated area for focus. And certainly from Mexico City and Monterrey, we are spending a lot of time helping grow our fan base and grow the game itself. I was actually down in Monterrey about a week ago visiting, and it was just so exciting to see not only the Texan support, but just on an average Tuesday to see flag football being played by girls. There was about 700 people watching them on the sidelines. It's an exciting place for the game right now, and one that we're proud to be engaging with.
And certainly with our partners over at the Houston airport system, I was able to travel with them, and there's now more direct flights from Houston, not only to Monterrey, but to Mexico City, because there is a lot of interest in coming to Houston for business, for sports, and certainly the Houston Texans are a big part of people wanting to come to this great city. Mike, we're so excited, and your energy and passion for being in Houston is evident, but I want folks to know a little bit about you. Where did you come from? I know you graduated from Georgetown, and we've got that in common through one of my daughters. So Hoya
No.
Saxa on that.
Hoya Saxa. Born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, along with my wife. Ultimately, spent most of my career, actually my entire career, about almost 25 years in sports and entertainment. And it was everything from really the team side with the NBA, from the Cavs to the Phoenix Suns to Charlotte and then back to the Cavaliers. And then really out to the platform business. So when you think about sports agencies or sports businesses, from a third-party service perspective. So from AEG based in Los Angeles, and then really 11 years with a third-party service company called Legends. I spent some time based up north in Texas, and have just moved down here, but predominantly focused in on the sports business, on the team side, and uniquely, when I say third-party service, all the things that support a business, from owner's rep, planning, construction, sales, hospitality, merchandise, data insights, etc. So that's the 10-cent tour of my last, call it 25 years.
Well, we are so happy to have you here. And I know folks in this industry and in business understand the expertise that you bring to Houston, to Texas. And guess what? Now you are officially in the best part of Texas, Houston. So welcome, and thank you for the partnership with the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
You are the best. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for the opportunity to come sit with you for a little bit.
All righty, we'll see you soon. On behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and staff, we invite you to consider becoming a sponsor of our upcoming annual awards gala, the largest Hispanic gala in the city of Houston, where we will be recognizing some incredible individuals from our greater Houston area. The date is Saturday, November the 8th at the Thompson Hotel. Become a sponsor today. On behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and staff, we'd like to invite you to register for our Data Summit and Business Expo on Thursday, August 21st from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Thompson Hotel. Learn more about data that's relevant and important to this great city there at the Thompson Hotel, again at the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Data Summit and Business Expo. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. One of the great opportunities that I have as a CEO of this organization is I get to work with extraordinary people, hardworking entrepreneurs, executives, people that really care about the city, people who do work all over the globe, and again, people who are motivated and inspired to do great things and leave their mark on this phenomenal city. So today I'm happy to introduce our chairman. He's the chairman of our board. I work for a board of directors, and thanks to their support, I've been at this chamber 17 years. We've got a very small team of staff members, and every day we look forward to working with them, serving our members, our corporate sponsors, and everyone else in between. So I want you all to meet our chairman, Roberto Contreras, who's joining us today. I'm going to give you his official title. He's the managing director for Houston's EB5. He's going to tell you about that, but also about the involvement here at this chamber and also of the Thompson Hotel that will be hosting three of our big events that are on our website, including our leadership conference, our data summit, and of course, our annual awards gala. He, his family, and a litany of individuals that they partner with have been involved with this chamber for a very long time. And so it's my honor to have you as our guest today, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for all you do, and I look forward to having the audience get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you, Dr. Murillo, and thank you for all that you do.
Absolutely. So let's begin with this. Your engagement with the chamber is not something that's been new to you. So let's start there. What does that look like? And now as chairman, what are some of the things that you like to share as chairman of this great organization?
Well, it's been over 15 years since we've been involved with the chamber now. And every year, the chamber just keeps getting bigger. It seems like the more growth that we have in Houston, the more growth that we have in the chamber, and vice versa. We see the chamber as an extremely important, piece for community engagement. It's for us, it's certainly been a factor in our growth as a business and the relationships that we've made through the chamber. We truly believe that Houston is still a city where you can come and achieve your American dream, like my parents did back when they came here in the 80s. We still see that in this city. And part of our way of giving back and showing that faith that we have in the city is being heavily involved in the Houston Hispanic Chamber.
And you have been serving on our board and now as our chairman and helping us lead the charge of making sure the city is a city where one can do business, an international city, and certainly for the work that you are doing with EB5 that's proven as such, and of course with the hotel that is absolutely a gem in our great city, which we are looking forward to showcasing in July, September, and then again in November. Tell us about EB5, what that is, and what that does for this economy and jobs.
Sure. Well, it's a federal program. It started in 1990. Interestingly enough, that's actually how my parents were ultimately able to stay and gain permanent residency was through an EB5 investment. That time it was in a stone fabrication facility. In order to get the green card through the EB5 program, it requires creating jobs, so making an at-risk investment and creating jobs. In this case, for my parents, it was starting a stone fabrication facility. 10 jobs ended up becoming 1,200 jobs in over 30 fabrication facilities around the country. So I say it's a great program that is based on job creation. Today, the minimum investment level is $800,000 per investor. And so what we do at Houston EB5 is we pool those investments to do large commercial real estate development projects through our development business called DC Partners. So you just mentioned the Thompson Hotel. That whole Allen mixed-use development was in large part financed by the EB5 program. We actually have worked with over 160 foreign investors investing at least $800,000 into that asset.
Very important. And for folks that may not understand, tell them and help them understand again, what that means for jobs, what that means for this region, and why this program is so important.
Sure. It really what the EB5 program, what makes it so special is that it's actually the only program whereby you're creating jobs for others and getting gaining permanent residency by making an investment in creating jobs for others. The EB1 through EB5 is all more so about getting a job, right? Which is good. And a lot of those jobs are jobs that we necessarily can't fill here in the United States, or they're highly specialized labor. But the EB5 program is unique in that it's about creating jobs. So just in Texas is one of the most popular destinations, as you could imagine, for foreign investment in general, just given the economic growth. And we're certainly, I would say, a top two regional center here in Texas that is, a licensed business that we're licensed to fundraise EB5 and, pool those funds and deploy them into projects for job creation purposes.
So we have many entrepreneurs in this great city, and many of them are now in that second generation of leadership. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs, for folks like yourself that are now the second generation, this new generation, a younger generation, and how you make your own mark and your own legacy in the business?
Yeah, I think it's definitely challenging at first to find that balance between being patient and being respectful, but also sort of finding your own way and finding how you can maybe complement the other family members that have been in the business for longer. And so I would just recommend to everybody to remember to try to strike that balance. At the end of the day, you're still working with family. Right. So sometimes it requires even more patience to do that. But also, you have to have a lot of respect for the work that has been done before you. And so part of respecting that is continuing to be patient, but part of respecting that is also making your presence felt. And when you do feel passionate about something and when you do know something to be true, it's really kind of stepping up. I think at the end of the day, that's what the generation above us wants to see us do, is they want to see us step up and they want to see us kind of become our own person. So just, don't forget to balance those two things and everything will be good.
Well, and also knowing that these are different times, right, than when that first generation started a business. New things such as AI, social media, ways of communicating to individuals, the increased number in Houston. I was reading the article about all of the millionaires that we have in Houston today, and how do you connect with them? And so it's definitely a new time, and this Chamber of Commerce understands that. As a matter of fact, one of the next CEO breakfasts that we're hosting will have an expert who's going to talk to us a little bit about AI and what that means for business. And we recently had you on one of our panels talking about working among family members and what that means, and what you've learned as well as others have learned as entrepreneurs at the global level. And we're so happy that you're serving as our chairman, and we thank you. We thank all of the board for the time, their service, their investment, so that we can continue to support our entrepreneurs. So in closing, any last words for entrepreneurs that you'd like to share?
Well, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to resilience, right? It comes down to resilience and faith. So just don't give up, keep going. And you're in a great city. And you have great support structures here in this city, like the Houston Hispanic Chamber, that can assist you in whatever it is, whatever resources that you need, or whatever connections you need to make. It certainly has helped for us. And we believe very strongly in that mission, that it can continue to help others as well.
Well said, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. We'll see you real soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and staff, we invite you to consider becoming a sponsor of our upcoming annual awards gala, the largest Hispanic gala in the city of Houston, where we will be recognizing some incredible individuals from our greater Houston area. The date is Saturday, November the 8th at the Thompson Hotel. Become a sponsor today. On behalf of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors and staff, we'd like to invite you to register for our Data Summit and Business Expo on Thursday, August 21st from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Thompson Hotel. Learn more about data that's relevant and important to this great city there at the Thompson Hotel, again at the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Data Summit and Business Expo. Hello, I'm Dr. Laura Murillo, President and CEO of the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm so happy to introduce our next guest. He's the Chairman Emeritus of this chamber and has the distinction of having been chairman at the local, state, and national level, always promoting business, always making sure that our region is represented, especially at the national level. Now more than ever, his voice is critically important as he leads an effort called Comité de 100, the Committee of 100. He's going to talk to you a little bit about that. He's an entrepreneur, a multi-million-dollar business that he's had on top of everything that he's doing for our great region. And so we're happy to have him here. Massey Villarreal, thanks for joining us.
Doctor, it's a pleasure and honor to be part of such a distinguished organization. I brag to other people across the country that we have the best Hispanic chamber on the planet. Since NASA's here, I can claim global, since NASA's in the Houston area, so we can claim the best galactic chamber in the country. So it's a pleasure to be part of the group.
Well, thank you so much, Massey. And you've done so much, not only for this chamber, for many chambers across Texas, across the country. Your voice is a very important one with our elected officials, whether it's local, state, now especially at the national level, where you've had access to presidents, congresspeople, and others, trying to wrap our arms around this conversation, which at the end of the day has tremendous impact on our economy and on our workforce. And that's why the Comité de 100 is critically important. So let's start there. What is the Comité de 100?
So the Comité de 100 is a committee of 100 Mexican American Latino entrepreneurs across the country, men and women who are focused on finding a solution for immigration. Our immigration system is broken, and people are saying, well, they're coming here come illegally. Well, there is no legal pathways. So we're trying to find a remedy, and have asked, as collectively as entrepreneurs, asked the president to secure a path for dreamers and essential workers while securing the border and deporting criminal aliens.
And we believe at this chamber that you can do both. You can secure the borders and you can make sure that we have a strong workforce. And as you mentioned, that's going to take some type of a guest worker permit or something for people who have been here, who have built this great city, this country, that we are here, that we are successful because of them, not in spite of them. And so I know this can be a highly charged conversation, and we have chosen at this chamber to focus again on business, on the economy, and a strong workforce, because without this segment of the community, we don't have an infrastructure. We don't have a bench to do the jobs that these individuals have been doing. And so many would say, this is a conversation we've been having for decades, Massey. What has changed? And is there hope given the political climate that we're currently in?
Well, interesting enough that I was in the White House when George W. Bush announced comprehensive immigration reform. And we had such promise that immigration was going to be passed in a bipartisan way. And unfortunately, it unraveled and has gotten worse day by day. But again, you talk about the contribution of the undocumented workers in this country. I mean, they are coming to fulfill a role in society. I mean, Doctor, you and I send our kids to universities to become scientists and physicians and presidents of organizations. But however, there is a role in the economic society for low skill, low wage. I mean, somebody has to pour concrete. Somebody has to nail a house together. And those skills are so necessary as part of the fabric of our economy. And those are the jobs that are filled by undocumented. And they're doing a great job working for low wage, working tirelessly and fearlessly, and great with a lot of ganas, as we say. And unfortunately, those people are no longer coming to work, or they're being deported, rounded up by this administration. And it is really hurting the economy as a whole in Texas and across the country.
So if you had your way, what would be a short-term solution and what would be a long-term solution so that we can have a strong workforce and we continue to become and continue to be economically viable?
Well, Doctor, you and I have been working this such a long time that the big story was, well, we can't have immigration until we secure the border. Today, the border is 97% secure. I mean, that is more secure than it's ever been. So it's time now to turn our attention to the economic impact of the economic boost of immigrants in this country. Our governor in Texas, Greg Abbott, said that we are the seventh largest economy in the country, and he wants to move us to number five. Well, that number five is a wish unless you have a workforce. You cannot build a chip manufacturing plant without construction workers. You cannot have the best healthcare in the country without having bilingual nurses. You can't do a lot of these things without having a workforce. So we need to have a path for essential workers, healthcare, ag workers, hospitality, and construction. We need a path for dreamers, kids who were brought to this country by their parents by no fault of their own, are now have been going to school in Texas, and then recently we had the repeal of the in-state tuition bill by a lawsuit filed by the Department of Justice and joined by Attorney General Paxton, which in essence eliminates the Texas Dream Act. So now that causes economic harm to those students, to the state of Texas. There's 20,000 students that are impacted by this change in law. But however, going back to that, to what we're saying is now that the border is secure and that we are deporting some of the criminal aliens as we all want, we need to have a workforce, and that is again, we need construction, we need chip manufacturers, we need folks, there is a tremendous need in a state like Houston for bilingual nurses. We don't have bilingual nurses. So we need to have that. And so that would be the first thing, is to get the essential workers and the dreamers ASAP.
So for the average person in the city of Houston, for entrepreneurs and businesses who understand that their labor force is comprised by individuals who might be undocumented, what do you say to them and how can they help make this happen?
Well, there's a guy in the White House that we're having a hard time getting his attention. And the way to get to his attention is to peel back little pieces, and that's to talk to your local members of Congress. And we don't have to be like protesting. We need to be constructive. We're very intelligent. We're caring, and I think that we have to organize and give the message to our members of a legislature that we, the voters, and the residents of Houston, Texas, want to have sensible immigration reform, and we want a solution, and that mass deportations are not what we were promised by this president when he said I'm clean immigration. It is not what is the best interest of the state of Texas, nor the best interest of the community to deport folks. So we need to have people that are members of La Cámara, our Chamber of Commerce, to talk to their state rep, to their senator, to the U.S. senator, the members of Congress, and say, we want a solution. And if we're not, we're going to go shopping for somebody who will.
Mr. Chairman, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I will tell you that being a member of the Chamber of Commerce for over 30, 40 years has built the success of my business and a lot of businesses. So I urge you that the best place for us to coalesce as business leaders that are changing the economy is to be a member of this chamber, and any chamber where you're hearing this message, because that is how we are going to grow economic wealth and grow wealth in the Latino community.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for your leadership as it relates to advocacy, and that the Houston Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has worked very much in the areas as it relates to business at the local, state, and national level to make sure that businesses remain strong and that we maintain a very strong workforce. So, Mr. Chairman, to you and the many, many people across the country who are pushing for a solution, we thank you for your leadership.